As we continue on with our off-season coverage of your Chicago Bulls, we are here today on today's daily episode to talk about Matas Buzelis. What are the next steps in the development of Matas Buzelis and the Chicago Bulls? Yeah, I know we're going to talk about it, break it down, talk a little smack as we always do, but you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
That Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you're tuned in with me today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. And a big shout out to Bulls Nation. The support has been crazy. We appreciate you all. As you all know, we trying to hit that next milestone, that 7K. So if you got a second, hit that damn subscribe button. But on to the topic for the day. I wanted to go ahead and talk about Matas Buzelis. Now, when we talk about Matas Buzelis, it was a shock already that this young fella with this much talent fell into the lap of the Chicago Bulls, a Chicagoland area child. So it's great to see that one of our own that's nearby. You know what I'm saying? He's from Hinsdale, so a guy that's one of us that's nearby is right there with the squad and knows what it feels like to play for this city, knows the expectations, what's going to come with playing for this city, and just the personal expectations placed on this young fella as well. Now, when we talk about Summer League, I love what I seen, and we had got some great flashes out of Matas Buzelis out of Summer League. We got some dunks. We got some putback dunks. We got some alley-oop dunks. We got dunks. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good sign to see. It was crazy. We got to see Matas Buzelis put his handling on display. We've seen Matas Buzelis show and display some of that dog mentality we believe that he has within him. We've seen some offensive scoring outputs from Matas Buzelis that was pretty damn enticing and fun to watch during Summer League. We've seen Matas Buzelis go ahead and have a bevy of blocks. A number of solid defensive plays from Matas Buzelis, and just some really good flashes from Matas Buzelis this past Summer League. And in the Summer League, my man's went up there and got him 16.4 points, 0.8 assists, not 1.8. We'll round up to one. We'll get him one assist, 4 rebounds, and did it at 33% shooting from the field, 21% shooting from the three. But nonetheless, it is Summer League, so we're not gonna overreact, but we will say my man's got some work to do. But at this level, when we talk about the Summer League level, Matas Buzelis showed that he's on the level with these guys. Some of these guys that are coming in are first year, second year players trying to make their way, and a lot of undrafted players or players that's coming from overseas or being a part of other G League team or in organizations, and they're trying to carve out a way for themselves in this NBA game. And Matas Buzelis showed that he fits around, or he belongs with that caliber of type of player. So he held down his own is pretty much what the conclusion was for me, is that Matas Buzelis is able to hang around this type of level of players. But now we know that is Summer League, and this man got some work to do. Some of the easy work that Matas Buzelis got right in front of him is simply some of the skills that he has already. Some of the things I believe that he can work on just to kind of continue to fine tune it. And I just want to keep on working on it. Let's continue to work on that handle. I believe he had a lot of great moves within that tool bag that he can just continue to work on. And that as you continue to go through, these levels of competition, next up for Matas Buzelis is preseason. And then after that, the regular season and maybe a play-in type of, feel. We got the in-season tournament, next level stuff. Some players, they still want to go out the accolades like that nowadays. So I'm not going to be too mad at it. But Matas Buzelis right now, what he can chime on and work on, that's not going to be so extensive right now. For me, I believe is that handle for sure. I believe you gotta continue to critique that. I believe it's at a good place right now to where you can trust them a little bit. to cook. You know he gonna cook. Come on, y'all. Y'all know Matas Buzelis. Every time he had somebody on him, he was ready to cook. It was the tween behind the back, spin around, step back, jumper. We gone or something crazy like that. Y'all know Matas Buzelis took advantage of that handle. I want him to continue to fine tune that, but then I also want him to continue to work on and understand the flow of the game. Now, I understand that I believe he has a solid flow of the game, but let's remember this is summer league. The NBA is a lot different. You know what I'm saying? That there's going to be more space on the floor depending on the team that you go up against. There's going to be larger, players on the court depending on who you're going up against. You're going to have NBA All-Stars. You're going to have NBA superstars. You're going to have all defensive players, all NBA type players, and some players that are rising stars in this NBA that Matas Buzelis is going to have to face. So I just want him to continue to just work on his game to where he comes down and he's getting more comfortable within the flow of the game and has a better feel of the game. Know when he should attack. Know when he should pass out. Know when he should rotate to a different side of the court. Know when he should be playing weak side or strong side and on the defensive side, however it's coming. Now, when we talk about the extensive work, the work that's going to take a little bit more to where we got to build these blocks to where we can say Matas Buzelis is now right up here. Right now, we're going to, just say he right here, but we want Matas Buzelis to take those steps, those appropriate steps to where he can continue to improve in the right direction. Me, number one, and I believe it should be number one. Right after Summer League, Matas Buzelis should have been called up Pete Patton. Hey, let's work on this jumper. Let's work on this jumper. All those great moves that Matas Buzelis has, the ability to get to the basket, all that stuff is great. But sometimes you're going to have a wide open three, young man, and you got to become a consistent three-point shooter. Sometimes you're going to have that, we're going to up fake step in with one dribble and mid. It's going to be a midi now. I believe he has it. We've seen a little bit of it. We've seen some moves that shows that he can get to those certain spots. You want him to improve on that. I love the ability to attack the basket, but with so many defenses and so many smart NBA players around the league right around now, they looking at summer league. If the guys, some guys might not have time, but he might grab some attention from some. But there are going to be players that absolutely do their due diligence. Look at the scouting report and say, damn, this guy can drive to the basket and put it on your head. Matter of fact, let's try to make him shoot. So that's going to need some extensive work. We want to work with that jumper. The next thing for me is going to be understanding basketball operations on the court. What I mean by that is, Matas Buzelis, every time you get the ball, bro, it ain't a cook session, man. Sometimes you got to keep the ball flowing. Sometimes you got to move to another location. Sometimes you got to just say, hey, let me get it and go. You know what I'm saying? It's not always time to cook. Sometimes the food is already done, and then you just got to go ahead and throw the food in the trash. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I want to see what's coming next for him. And then just simply finding other ways to be effective. You know what I'm saying? With a guy that's 6'9", 6'10", and Matas Buzelis, no reason you should only have 4 rebounds. And that's cool, you know what I'm saying? Because he was, mostly in other places to where he wasn't so much near, the basket. But when he gets on this team with the Chicago Bulls and start hooping with him, the volume of shots that he got in summer league, it's not going to be there. So Matas Buzelis is going to have to find other ways to be successful. I believe some ways that he's going to be able to be successful right away is if he gets out in transition and if he locks in and knows where he needs to be on the defensive side. I believe if he gets out in transition, he's going to have a bevy of opportunities to dunk on somebody's head or just get a simple layup. I believe he's also going to be able to have opportunity to make plays for his other teammates. So I want him to find other ways to be effective. And then if you hone in on that blocking, that shot blocking ability that Matas has on the defensive end, and you start to teach this young fella, hey, when this is happening during the defensive lineup that we have on the floor, you're supposed to be here. And if you are here, you're going to block shots. And if you're not here, the guy's going to get a basket on you. So we need Matas Buzelis to start to develop that defensive IQ along with that offensive IQ. And I just believe that overall, he needs to be more deliberate with the action. We just talked about it. Look, bro, every time it ain't a cook session, bro. Just be more deliberate. And I think that's going to come over time. You know what I'm saying? We can't expect everything to be glitz and glamour right away for Matas Buzelis, but I believe he has a lot of tools right now that could make him successful right away, and him just being more deliberate, working on that jump shot, knowing how to operate, you know what I'm saying, within the flow of a NBA offensive game versus summer league is going to help him tremendously. And the fact that just think that the first thing first, we got to start working on that jumper. It's not going to change overnight. It's not going to change in a month or two, but well, it's not going to change in a month or two. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you know what I'm saying? Because it's July. But when the season started October, I constantly want to see if this young player can work with Peter Patton, work with maybe a coach that he has hired or something like that. And we see continual growth each and every month. You know what I'm saying? Because the talent is increasing now for Matas Buzelis. You was in a G League again with a bunch of 1 year, 2 year players, or a bunch of guys that's trying to make their way around in the NBA who's been on several teams or been a part of G League for 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like a Henry Drill. Seems like forever. C-Dub said it felt like he been on the G League team for a decade. It's crazy. He only been on for 3 seasons. But the point is that the talent is only going to get better. Now you're not going to see a bunch of G League players. Once you hit preseason, you're not seeing a bunch of G League players. You're going to see maybe some, you know, here and there. You're going to also see some young players that's within this class, but you're also going to see some 2-year players, 3-year players, some rising stars, some all-stars, some superstars. The talent is now going to increase for him, so I just want him to be more prepared. But now it comes to draw me, now it brings me to have questions that I got to ask the Chicago Bulls. How do you work to give Matas minutes? For me, it's a foregone conclusion. Torrey Craig is at the after Patrick Williams comes. If Matas Buzelis is not in the starting lineup, once Patrick Williams comes out, Matas should be inserted. It's just that simple for me. That's just how I'm looking at it. I believe the Chicago Bulls give Patrick Williams, you know what I'm saying, that love, you know what I'm saying, for being around. And maybe the belief is there that he could be a solid starter at the 4th spot. You know what I'm saying? Because we still got to worry about Zach LaVine. So I want the Chicago Bulls to figure out the minutes for Zach LaVine and also Lonzo Ball, because these are guys that's going to take minutes from the other young players. The Chicago Bulls are going to have to come to terms and be like, hey, what is our ultimate goal? Because if we looking at Zach LaVine, we want to trade him, and the way we build his value back up is if we play him. Now, when we talk about Lonzo Ball, I don't know if too many teams will trade for him. I don't know. It's possible. I'm not going to say it's completely off the table, but what would be the plan for Lonzo Ball? Is the plan is just to play him 20 minutes per game, 15 minutes per game, 25? I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know. But the point is that the Bulls need to figure out what their plan will be to move off of Zach LaVine, potentially Lonzo, and potentially Nikola Vucevic, and how do you ensure that you don't stunt the growth of Matas and all of the other young players. We talking about Julian Phillips. You don't want to stunt the growth for him. We know Lonzo Ball is coming back, but Dalen Terry has damn sure earned his way. You don't want to take away from those young players and stunt their growth for players who might not even be here for the foreseeable future, which I expect these guys not to be here at all. But sometimes you never know with this front office. Now another thing is the Bulls decide his place in the rotation. Is this young guy, does he have a chance to start? Is there a world where we look at a Matas Buzelis in the starting lineup? Is that something we start the season with? I say no. But once Zach LaVine is moved, is it now going to provide us with a change in lineup? Because I believe a solid, y'all let me know down below how you all feel about this lineup. Maybe not at the start of the season, but once Zach LaVine is moved, depending on who we get back, I don't say anybody's getting back is going to be more better than what this lineup will be. I could be wrong, but what do you guys think about this lineup eventually? Not at the start of the season, but once Zach LaVine, eventually. So we talking about Giddey at the 1, Kobe at the 2. Is you going to put P. Will at the 3 and Matas at the 4, or vice versa? Would those be your 2 forwards on the floor? And then your center is still Nikola Vucevic. I believe that'll be something that'll be pretty damn good towards the end of the season. Well, not towards the end, but maybe at that halfway mark to where these young guys can start working on that. But we shall see. we shall see. The Bulls, they got to get their stuff. They got to get their affairs in order. They got to make sure that they have a clear-cut direction for him. And I'm anxious to see what the plan is for moving forward. To be honest with you, I'm anxious to see what the plan is for Matas. I'm anxious to see what the plan is for Dalen. Kobe White right now, who seems to be like in the middle of, some friction a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we started with Giddey, Kobe, Zach at the 3P, Will at the 4, and you know what I'm saying? Are we going to operate in that way? How are we going to operate? So I'm interested to see what's the plan for Zach, Kobe, Io, P. Will, Dalen, the entire squad, really. Because if you ask me, guys like Javon Carter, get to the back of the bench. Torrey Craig, get to the back of the bench. Y'all come in at garbage time. We just need y'all to come in here and be solid veterans. I want to see young players. I'm not saying they absolutely have to be out the way and not have a role or be around the squad. But right now I'm with the youth movement. That's just how I'm looking at it. But hey, that is it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode. Again, comment below. Let me know what are your next steps for Matas Buzelis is with his development, because I believe this guy has a high ceiling, but we're going to have to take this thing step by step. And sometimes he's going to succeed fast, some steps and, accomplish things faster than others. And, so we just got to work with what we got to work with. But let me know your thoughts and everything down below. Hit the like button, subscribe before you go. And if you want to call in and be a part of one of our mailbag episodes, call in. The number to do so is 773-242-9219. Thank y'all so much, Bull Nation. See Red, and of course, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.